Do I like Caesar Zipelli?
No.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Mr. Italiano over here wasn't able to win me over. But to be fair, it's pretty hard to stand out with Joseph constantly stealing spotlight. And it's quite a shame too, because he gets introduced as this really awesome Hamon user, but he just can't top the introduction with his lovely Grampy. And what's even more of a shame is that he actually has to die to leave a fucking impact. While William's death was just very... Aww. It is definitely no... Well, I guess you did something right, Zipelli boy. Something I myself love about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is the deception. You know, deceiving your opponent into thinking you're actually much stronger than you are. And make them go apeshit. Seriously though, the fuck is this kid? And if you still haven't figured it out, or you just haven't read part 3, number 19 goes to Daniel J Darby.
D-A-R-B-Y.
Yes, Daniel. Not Terrence. Maybe it's something about his voice, his design, mannerisms, but I just prefer Daniel in every way over his douchey brother. And his Eyes of Heaven incarnation is just glorious. I absolutely hate playing this stupid fucking minigame, but Darby just makes it worth it. All of his reactions are just amazing, meme-worthy even. Just take a look at this. This is a strong, proud man, overflowing with confidence. And this is a fucking meth head. It's like one of those before-after memes. Oh, and did I mention his breathing? Good fucking lord, Darby. Steel Ball Run had a lot of nutcases and weird shit. Just half of the shit involving Funny Valentine and his stand, I don't even understand. I mean, we've got dinosaur stands, lesbian first ladies, traps, and Jesus. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. And the worst part is that they all want the heads of Johnny and Gyro on a silver platter. Except for one. I absolutely loved Sugar Mountain and her story arc. But don't ask me why. Have you ever watched Fawful's Minions Top 100 Pokemon? In it, whenever he talks about a Pokemon that he likes without really having a good reason for it, he refers to it as the Nidoking case. Well, I call it the Sugar Mountain case, since there's no actual reason for me liking Sugar Mountain. I just do. I guess it's because in the madness of Steel Ball Run, Sugar Mountain is oddly serene. And her story arc is the most tragically hysterical one I've seen so far. It basically features Johnny and Gyro trying to get rid of money before turning into trees, only to end up getting more money. And her name is a Neil Young reference. You can never go wrong with Neil Young. I just like Sugar Mountain. Not much else to say. Remember when I said Sugar Mountain was the only one not out for Gyro's blood? Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. When I was finally finished editing Sugar Mountain's part, I went back to the script and there was Poco Loco. Sugar Mountain was always aware of the chaos that was going on in the Steel Ball Run, she simply didn't care. But oh boy, Poco Loco. This guy right here deserves a medal. A medal for the most oblivious little fuck award of 2005. What has this guy been smoking? People are constantly dropping like flies in the Steel Ball Run, and yet Poco Loco not only survives, but he doesn't even know about it. I guess it has to do with Poco Loco's stand, Heya, which seemingly provides him with perfect luck, but then still. But I guess that obliviousness just makes him more endearing. And he's pretty fun to see in action, as he's mostly always smiling and having a good time. But then again, that could be caused by what he's smoking. Don't be number 1. Be number 2. Wise words said by a fucking coward. Who was that coward? Whole Horse, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in a way, I can respect Whole Horse. He doesn't have any high ambitions, doesn't want to rule the world, he's simply there to get his money, and he focuses a lot on teamwork, which I can really respect in a character. But the fact is, he doesn't really need a partner. Sure, with the help of J-Guile and Boingo, 2 characters I honestly don't give a single shit about, he can achieve more, but he's competent enough to take his enemies out himself. I'm not gonna go on rambling because really, I've said everything I need to say about Whole Horse. I just like him, and his design is pretty cool. I love Western movies. And he also owns big time in All-Star Battle. Ah yes, I get to finally talk about Stroheim. Stroheim is simply fucking cool. At first he was simply a not too impressive side character, but later, dude, this guy rose in awesomeness. I guess German science truly is the best in the world. After blowing himself up to destroy Santana in Mexico, Stroheim was rebuilt. Better, stronger, and definitely more awesome. Stroheim became the big bad motherfucker RoboCop could never be. Also, bonus points for his voice. And his character theme in Eyes of Heaven. God, I just adore this man. And his design is also one of my favorites in all of Jojo. Sure, the Nazis were fucking assholes, but damn, they had style. If you'd ask me what my favorite chapter in all of Diamond is Unbreakable is, I would answer with, let's go eat Italian food. Because it introduced my third favorite Diamond is Unbreakable side character, Tonio Turasardi. Tonio is a cook who, after traveling the world to perfect his cooking, settled in Morio Town. And he's also one of the best characters in Diamond is Unbreakable, even though he's only around for one chapter and then shows up at the end. However, throughout the chapter, his cooking starts to have weird side effects. For example, Okuyasu can't stop bawling his eyes out, his bad teeth start randomly dropping out of his mouth, and also this happens. And also this. My thoughts exactly, Josuke. In the end, it's revealed that this is simply the effect of Tonio's stand, Pearl Jam, or at least I think that's what it's called. And the reason for him settling in Morio is just because he wants to help the people of Morio with his cooking. So in the end, Tonio wasn't such a bad guy after all. I hate myself. So last night I was thinking about some good jokes I could use during the part with Narc Anastasia, or Anasway, whatever you like to call him. And I had this really smart joke about Anastasia and LGBT community. But well, the LGBT community is already a big enough joke on its own.
And it was really funny, I swear.
But I kind of forgot it. So here's a cool picture of him instead. Settle with that. Diego is the latest in the long, oh god, it's so long, line of Dio reimaginings. And in my opinion, he's the best. While Dio was just a dig because, well, comic books need a villain, I can really understand Diego's reasoning for being such a twisted misanthrope. I'm not gonna explain Diego's entire backstory right here. If you want to know that, you should really just read it for yourself. It's amazing. But I think we can all safely say Diego has a good reason for being such a dick. But a sad backstory is not the only reason why Diego is so beloved by many. I used to adore dinosaurs as a kid, and BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs is still one of my favorite DVDs of all time. So you can imagine my excitement when Dr. Ferdinand died and Diego became the owner of Scary Monsters, which transformed him into this weird dinosaur-human hybrid thing. And after his eventual transformation, Diego stars in two of my favorite scenes from my favorite Jojo part, Steel Ball Run. The first of these being this oddly creepy scene where Diego tries to find the coffee Johnny gave him, but since dinosaurs can't sense non-moving objects, he can't find it, but then proceeds to catch a fly in midair. And the other, of course, being his final fight against Valentine, in which he eventually dies. I must say that his death actually made me more depressed than Gyro's. As the saying goes, you can only make one first impression. And this is especially true when it comes to Jojo. For example, my first impression of Vento Aureo was less than stellar. The first chapter was boring. I still don't like Giorno. Most of the enemies are boring with not very interesting stands. But hey, that's just my stupid opinion, right? But even though the first few chapters with Bruno Bucciarati and Giorno Giovanna kind of soured my entire interest in reading Vento Aureo, 4 other characters really did make a great first impression. And of course, those 4 are Narancia Girga, Panacle Tafugo, Guido Mista and Leone Abbacchio. These 4 are the perfect example of a great team. On their own, they're badass, and when they're together, they're hysterical. Literally, the first scenes with them are the best in the entirety of Vento Aureo. I mean, Guido is there and he's just there. But then there's Fugo and Narancia stabbing each other with forks, and Abbacchio pisses in a teacup. I'm not even joking, that's literally word for word what happens. So thanks to them, I kept on reading, and I was able to experience the rest of the madness that is Vento Aureo. So, thank you, I guess. Well people, that was the first part of this list. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. The next part will be up soon. So for now...